Daeho sat in front of his computer screen in the quiet communications center on the planet Valaris. His job was to listen to signals from space and write down what he heard. Most days were boring. Ships called to ask for directions. Traders wanted to know prices. Nothing exciting ever happened. Today felt different. A strange signal came through the speakers. It was weak and full of static, but Daeho could tell someone was trying to talk. He put on his headphones and turned up the volume. The voice was speaking a language he had never heard before. The words were harsh and quick. Daeho ran the signal through his translation computer. Slowly, words appeared on his screen. "This is Admiral Soonja of the United Earth ship Indomitable. We need help. Our world is in danger. Extinction-level threat approaching. Request immediate assistance from any friendly species. We are located at coordinates." The message repeated over and over. Daeho's hands shook as he wrote down the coordinates. Earth? He had never heard of this planet. He checked his star maps. The coordinates pointed to a system far away from any known civilization. Who were these humans? He ran the message through the computer again. The translation seemed right. These aliens called humans were asking for help. Their world was about to be destroyed. They needed rescue. Daeho called his boss. "Sir, I have an emergency message from an unknown species. They say their planet is going to be destroyed." Within an hour, the message reached the highest levels of Valari government. The council gathered in their white marble meeting hall. Kyung-min, the council leader, read the translation with worried eyes. "What do we know about this species called humans?" Kyung-min asked. "Nothing, sir," replied Hae-jin, the science advisor. "They are not in our records. The coordinates show their planet is in a system we have never visited. It is very far away." "They mention an extinction-level threat," said another council member. "What could destroy an entire world?" Hae-jin pulled up images on the large screen. Asteroid impacts, supernovas, planet-eating creatures. Any of these could end all life on a world. If these humans are telling the truth, millions or billions of beings might die. The council room became quiet. The Valari were a peaceful people. They had never seen war or violence. Their world was safe and calm. The idea of an entire planet dying scared them. "We cannot ignore this," Kyung-min said. "Our laws say we must help any species in danger, even if we do not know them." "But sir," Hae-jin said carefully, "what if this is a trap? What if these humans are lying to trick us?" "Look at their message," Kyung-min pointed to the screen. "They sound desperate. They are asking anyone for help. This is not the voice of someone trying to trick us." The council voted. It was close, but they decided to help. They would send a ship to the human coordinates. Maybe they could save some lives. Captain Wu Jin got the order that evening. He was to take his ship, the Peaceful Dawn, to the human system. His mission was to contact these humans and offer rescue services. If their planet was really dying, the Valari would take as many humans as possible to safety. Wu Jin was nervous. In his 20 years as a ship captain, he had never met a new alien species. The Peaceful Dawn was not a big ship. It could maybe rescue a few thousand people. If the human world had millions of beings, most would still die. The journey took 3 days. During the trip, Daeho worked with the ship's computers to learn more about the human language. He found that humans had many different languages. The distress signal was in something called English. The translation computer slowly got better at understanding it. "Captain, Daeho called from his station. I am getting more signals from the human system, lots of them. Wu Jin hurried over. What kind of signals? Ship communications, battle reports, weapon status updates. Daeho looked confused. Sir, these do not sound like the messages from a dying world. They sound like, military communications. Let me hear them, Wu Jin said. The speakers crackled with human voices. Even through the translation, the voices sounded strong and confident. They talked about fleet positions, attack patterns, and something called kill counts. This is strange, Wu Jin said. Are you sure the coordinates are right? Yes, sir. These signals are coming from the same system as the distress call. When the peaceful dawn finally reached the edge of the human system, Wu Jin could not believe what he saw. Instead of a dying world, space was full of ships. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. The ships were huge and dark. They had thick armor and big weapons. These were not rescue ships or civilian transports. These were warships, the biggest warships Wu Jin had ever seen. Captain, his navigator called out, I am reading massive energy signatures. These ships have weapons that could destroy our entire planet. Sir, Daeho added, I am getting a signal directed at us. The humans know we are here. The main screen lit up with the image of a human female. She wore a dark uniform with metal decorations. Her face was serious but not unfriendly. This was Admiral Soonja. Unknown vessel, this is Admiral Soonja of the United Earth Fleet. Thank you for responding to our call. We did not expect anyone to come. Please state your intentions. Wu Jin cleared his throat. Admiral Soonja, I am Captain Wu Jin of the Valari ship Peaceful Dawn. We received your distress signal. We came to offer rescue services for your dying world. Admiral Soonja looked confused for a moment. Then her expression changed. She almost looked like she wanted to laugh. Captain Wu Jin, I think there has been a misunderstanding. Earth is not dying. We sent that signal because we need allies, not rescue. We are preparing for war. Wu Jin felt his world spin. War? But your message said extinction-level threat. Yes, Admiral Soonja nodded. There is a threat coming to this galaxy, something that destroys entire worlds. We have been tracking them for months. Our fleet is here to stop them before they reach any inhabited systems. Wu Jin looked at the thousands of warships surrounding his tiny vessel. You built this entire fleet to fight this threat? Built? Admiral Soonja raised an eyebrow. Captain, this is just our advance force. The main battle fleet is still coming. The Peaceful Dawn sat alone among the human war machines. Wu Jin realized that the Valari had not come to rescue a dying species. They had stumbled into something much bigger. The humans were not asking to be saved. They were asking others to join them in a fight that would decide the fate of the galaxy. Admiral Soonja invited Captain Wu Jin to visit the human flagship. The Peaceful Dawn looked like a toy next to the massive Earth ship called Indomitable. When Wu Jin's shuttle landed in the hangar bay, he saw things that made his skin crawl. Human. Soldiers stood guard everywhere. They were tall and strong, with thick muscles and sharp eyes. They carried weapons that looked like they could punch holes through starship hulls. The soldiers watched Wu Jin with the focus of hunters studying prey. Welcome aboard, Admiral Soonja said as she met Wu Jin at the shuttle door. I know this must be confusing for you. Wu Jin tried not to stare at the humans around him. Their bodies were built for violence. Even the Admiral, who seemed friendly, had scars on her hands and arms. Admiral, your people look very strong. We have to be, Sunja replied as she led him through the ship's corridors. Our world taught us to be tough, or we would have died long ago. The inside of the human ship was like nothing Wu Jin had ever seen. The walls were thick metal. The corridors were wide enough for soldiers to run through quickly. Everything was designed for battle. Even the lights were red, making the ship feel dangerous. They passed rooms full of weapons, guns bigger than Wu Jin's, entire body, explosives that could level cities, armor suits that looked like walking tanks. The Valari had tools for building and healing. The humans had tools for destroying. Admiral, Wu Jin said carefully, what kind of world creates people like this? Sunja stopped walking. Would you like to meet our science officer? She can explain Earth better than I can. They found Dr. Haiwan in the ship's research lab. She was a Valari scientist who had been studying human culture and biology for the past week. When she saw Captain Wu Jin, her face went pale. Captain, Haiwan whispered, you should not have come here. These humans, they are not like us. They are not like anyone. What do you mean? Wu Jin asked. Admiral Sunja gestured to a large screen. Dr. Haiwan has been learning about our species. Perhaps she can share what she has discovered. Haiwan's hands shook as she brought up images of Earth. Captain, the human homeworld is a death trap. Look at these creatures. The screen showed animals that made Wu Jin step backward in fear. Massive predators with teeth like swords. Flying reptiles the size of small ships. Ocean monsters that could swallow a building whole. These animals live on the human world? Wu Jin asked in shock. They used to, Admiral Sunja said calmly. Most of them are extinct now. Humans hunted them all. Haiwan nodded frantically. Captain, humans did not just live alongside these monsters. They killed them for food, for sport, for fun. These predators that could destroy our entire cities. Humans turned them into dinner. The screen changed to show Earth's weather. Storms that could tear apart mountains. Ice ages that covered continents. Volcanoes that changed the climate of the entire planet. This is what humans call normal weather, Haiwan continued. They evolved during ice ages. They survived supervolcano eruptions. They lived through asteroid impacts that would sterilize most worlds. Admiral Sunja smiled. Earth made us strong. Every challenge made us stronger. Every threat taught us how to fight better. Colonel Tae-young entered the lab at that moment. He was a human Marine commander, built like a walking weapon. His armor had scratches and burn marks from recent battles. When he saw the Valari visitors, he nodded politely. Admiral, the demonstration is ready, Tae-young said. Demonstration? Wu Jin asked. We thought you might want to see how humans fight, Sunja replied. Colonel Tae-young has prepared a training exercise. They went to the ship's combat deck. It was a huge room with movable walls and obstacles. Human Marines were setting up what they called a light training scenario. This is just basic combat practice, Colonel Tae-young explained. Nothing too serious. What happened next made Wu Jin question everything he knew about life in the galaxy. The human Marines moved through the combat course like liquid death. They used weapons that fired explosive rounds. They threw grenades that could level buildings. They fought with knives and bare hands when their guns ran out of ammunition. The light training involved tactics that would be considered war crimes on most worlds. The humans practiced fighting in poisonous atmospheres. They trained to fight, while bleeding and injured. They learned to kill with tools and rocks when they had no weapons. This is how you train? Wu Jin asked weakly. This is how we stay alive, Tae-young replied. On Earth, if you cannot fight, you die. We learned to fight everything. Animals, weather, other humans, disease, starvation. Fighting is what we do. Dr. Hai-wan pulled Captain Wu Jin aside. Captain, I have studied their biology. Humans heal from injuries that would kill us. They can survive without food for weeks. They can function with broken bones and massive blood loss. Their bodies are designed for war. But they seem so friendly, Wu Jin protested. They are friendly, Admiral Sunja said, overhearing them. We do not fight because we hate. We fight because we must. Our world taught us that violence is sometimes the only answer to threats. The Admiral brought up a star map showing the approaching enemy. The Devourers are coming. They have destroyed 17 civilizations in the past year. Every world they touch becomes dead rock. Every species they meet becomes extinct. How do you know about them? Wu Jin asked. Because we have been hunting them, Sunja replied. When we learned about the Devourers, we did not hide. We did not run. We gathered our fleets and came looking for a fight. Colonel Tae-young nodded. On Earth, when a dangerous predator threatens the community, you do not wait for it to attack. You hunt it down and kill it first. Wu Jin felt dizzy. You are hunting something that destroys entire worlds? We are hunting something that thinks it destroys entire worlds, Admiral Sunja corrected. The Devourers have never met humans before. They have never met a species that sees them as prey instead of predators. Dr. Hai-wan showed more data on her tablet. Captain, humans do not see the Devourers as an unstoppable force. They see them as large, dangerous animals that need to be killed. This is how humans think. Everything is either food, friend, or something that needs to die. The distress signal you received, Admiral Sunja explained, was not a cry for help. It was a call to arms. We were hoping to find allies who could help us fight. We did not expect anyone to come offering rescue. Wu Jin sat down heavily. His people had come to save a dying civilization. Instead, they had found the galaxy's most dangerous predators preparing for the hunt of their lives. What happens now? He asked. Admiral Sunja smiled, and for the first time, Wu Jin saw the predator hiding behind her friendly face. Now you choose. You can go home and pretend you never met us, or you can stay and watch us solve the galaxy's devourer problem. Around them, human Marines continued their training. They fought with the casual efficiency of born killers. They prepared for war like other species prepared for dinner. Captain Wu Jin realized that the galaxy was about to change forever. The humans had arrived, and they were very hungry for a fight. More ships arrived every day. The human signal had reached dozens of worlds across the galaxy. Each alien species came expecting to find refugees. Instead, they found the largest war fleet anyone had ever seen. Fleet Admiral Byung-ho stood in the command center of the massive ship Seoul's Vengeance. Through the windows, he could see hundreds of alien vessels mixed among the human warships. Each new arrival brought the same shocked reaction. Sir, reported Communications Officer Hee-young, the Zephyrian delegation has arrived. Ambassador Nam-su is requesting an immediate meeting. Send them to Conference Room 7, Byung-ho replied. Make sure Dr. Yoon-suk is there. We will need her to explain things again. Dr. Yoon-suk was the fleet's lead xenobiologist. Her job was to help alien species understand what humans were and why they fought. It was not an easy job. Most aliens could not believe that any species could be as violent as humans. The Zephyrians entered the conference room looking like living crystals. They moved with grace and spoke in musical tones. Ambassador Namsu's crystal body rang like bells when he was nervous. Right now he was ringing constantly. "Dr. Yunsuk," Namsu said, "we came as quickly as we could after receiving the human distress signal. Where are the refugees? How many can our ships carry to safety?" Dr. Yunsuk had given this presentation so many times she could do it in her sleep. She activated the hologram projector and showed an image of Earth floating in space. "Ambassador, there has been a misunderstanding. Humans are not refugees. We sent that signal to gather allies for war, not to ask for rescue." Namsu's crystal body stopped ringing. "War? But your message spoke of extinction threats." "Yes," Dr. Yunsuk nodded. "Something called the Devourers is coming to destroy worlds in this galaxy. We are here to stop them." She changed the hologram to show Earth's surface. Green forests, blue oceans, white clouds. It looked peaceful and beautiful. "This is the human homeworld," she continued. "We call it Earth. It looks nice, does it not?" The alien delegates nodded. Earth looked like a paradise world. "Now let me show you what lives on Earth," Dr. Yunsuk said. The hologram changed to show a massive predator with teeth like daggers. Its roar shook the room even through the speakers. The Zephyrians stepped backward in fear. "This is what we call a tiger," Dr. Yunsuk explained calmly. "It weighs 300 kilograms and can kill a human in seconds. Tigers live in our backyards. Children learn to watch for them when playing outside." Namsu's crystal body began ringing again. "That monster lives near human cities?" "Tigers are small compared to some Earth predators," Dr. Yunsuk replied. She showed images of bears, sharks, and crocodiles. These animals shaped human evolution. For millions of years, humans survived by being better killers than everything trying to kill them. The hologram showed human hunters from ancient times. They carried simple weapons and fought creatures 10 times their size. They worked together to bring down monsters that could crush them with one step. "Humans learned to hunt in groups," Dr. Yunsuk continued. "We learned to make weapons. We learned to track prey across continents. Most importantly, we learned that the best defense against a dangerous predator is to kill it before it kills you." Captain Young A entered the conference room at that moment. She commanded one of the human dreadnoughts and had scars covering half her face from a battle with space pirates. "Doctor, Admiral Byung-ho needs you on the command deck," Young A said. "We have new intelligence about the Devourers." "Perfect. Timing," Dr. Yunsuk replied. "Captain Youngie, would you mind showing our guests the Devourer data?" Youngie activated a different hologram. This one showed the enemy that was coming to destroy the galaxy. The Devourers looked like giant insects, made of metal and flesh. They moved in swarms and consumed everything in their path. "These are the things that have been destroying worlds," Youngie explained. "They travel in massive hive ships and turn planets into dead rock within days. 17 civilizations have fallen to them already." Ambassador Namsu studied the images with growing horror. "How do you fight something like this? Our greatest weapons could not harm them." "You fight them the same way humans have always fought dangerous predators," Youngie replied. "You find their weak spots. You attack in groups. You do not stop until they are all dead." "But they are not animals," Namsu protested. "They are intelligent. They use technology." Captain Young A smiled. It was not a friendly smile. Intelligence and technology did not save the tigers when humans decided they were dangerous. Intelligence and technology did not save any species that threatened human survival. The Devourers are just bigger prey. Dr. Yun Suk brought up more Earth images. These showed human cities built on active volcanoes, in frozen wastelands, and in poisonous swamps. Humans do not just fight biological threats, she explained. We fight our entire planet every day. Earth tries to kill us with storms, earthquakes, diseases, and climate changes. We survive by fighting back against everything. Your world attacks you? Namsu asked in confusion. Our world made us strong, Dr. Yunsuk replied. Every challenge teaches us something new about survival. Every threat we overcome makes us better fighters. The hologram showed human soldiers fighting in conditions that would kill most aliens instantly. They battled in acid rain, toxic atmospheres, and radiation zones that would sterilize other worlds. This is normal training for human military forces, Captain Youngie added. We practice fighting in environments where our enemies think we cannot survive. Admiral Byung-ho's voice came through the speakers. All senior staff to the command. Deck, we have contact with the Devourer advanced scouts. The meeting ended quickly. As the alien delegates followed the humans to the command deck, Ambassador Nam Su whispered to his aide. They are not asking us to help them fight, he said quietly. They are asking us to watch them hunt. On the command deck, dozens of species stood together watching the main display. The Devourers were exactly as terrifying as described. Their ships were living creatures the size of moons. Their weapons could crack planets. They moved with the confidence of predators who had never met resistance. Analysis complete, reported Intelligence Officer Min-ho. The Devourer scouts match all previous descriptions. Biomechanical construction, adaptive armor, hive mind intelligence. Weak points? Admiral Byung-ho asked. Several possibilities, Min-ho replied. Their bioarmor has joint sections that appear vulnerable. Their hive mind requires communication, nodes that could be disrupted. Their size makes them slow to maneuver. The alien delegates listened in amazement. Where they saw unstoppable destroyers, the humans saw hunting opportunities. Fleet positions? Admiral Byung-ho continued. Human battle groups are in position, Communications Officer Hee-young reported. Allied vessels are maintaining safe distance as requested. Captain Young-A turned to the alien observers. You might want to record this. Your people will want to know how the Devourer threat ended. Ambassador Nam Su realized what was happening. The humans were not preparing to fight for their lives. They were preparing to enjoy themselves. They had found new prey, and they could barely contain their excitement. Signal all ships, Admiral Byung-ho commanded. Begin the hunt. The battle began at dawn. Ship time. Strike Commander In-gyu led the first wave of human fighters toward the Devourer scout ships. From the safety of the command vessel, the alien observers watched in horror as the humans flew directly into what looked like certain death. They are flying straight at the enemy weapons, gasped Ambassador Nam Su. Those fighters will be destroyed instantly. Tactical Officer Sun Hee smiled as she watched the display. Commander In-gyu knows what he is doing. Watch carefully. The Devourer ships fired massive energy beams that should have vaporized the human fighters. Instead, the small ships danced between the attacks like birds avoiding raindrops. They moved in patterns that seemed impossible, turning and diving in ways that should have torn them apart. How are they doing that? Asked Observer Min-ho, a Valari scientist recording everything for his government. Human pilots train in Earth's atmosphere, Sun Hee explained. Our air is thick and full of storms. Flying through Devourer weapons fire is easier than flying through a thunderstorm on Earth. The human fighters reached the enemy ships and began attacking weak points that other species had never noticed. They targeted joint connections and communication arrays with surgical precision. "The Devourers are trying to adapt," reported Engineer Sung Woo from his station. "Their bio-armor is shifting to protect damaged areas." "Good," Sun Hee replied. "That means they are learning to fear us." One of the Devourer scout ships lost power and began to drift. Commander Ingyu's voice came through the speakers. "Strike. Team Alpha requesting permission to board the disabled enemy vessel." "Board it?" Minho asked in shock. "They want to go inside the enemy ship?" Sun Hee nodded. "We need to understand how these things work. The best way to study a predator is to cut it open while it is still alive." Admiral Byung-ho's voice filled the command deck. "Permission granted, Commander. Capture whatever you can. Kill everything else." The human boarding parties cut their way into the Devourer ship, using tools that burned through bio-armor like paper. Within minutes, they were inside the enemy vessel, fighting its crew in hand-to-hand combat. The alien observers watched the battle, feeds with growing amazement. The Devourer warriors were massive creatures with natural weapons and thick armor. They should have been able to crush the much smaller humans easily. Instead, the humans fought like they had been born for this. They used the enemy's size against them, moving too fast to be caught. They targeted weak points with deadly accuracy. They worked together like a pack of hunters, bringing down large prey. "This is incredible," whispered Minho as he recorded the footage. "The humans are fighting inside an enemy ship that is still trying to kill them. They are surrounded by hostile aliens in a toxic environment. They should be dead." "Humans are very hard to kill," Sun Hee replied proudly. "Our bodies are designed to keep fighting even when we are badly injured. Our minds are trained to stay calm in deadly situations." Engineer Sung Woo called out from his station. "Sir, the boarding teams have captured the enemy command center. They are downloading the Devourer navigation data." "Excellent," Admiral Byung-ho replied. "Now we know where their main fleet is hiding." Commander Ingyu's team had done more than just capture data. They had taken living Devourer prisoners and samples of their biotechnology. While other species saw the Devourers as mysterious aliens, the humans saw them as animals to be studied and understood. "Analysis complete, Engineer," Sung Woo announced. "The Devourer bioarmor is based on evolved shell structures. Their weapons are essentially organic acid projectors. Their hive mind uses pheromone communication." Sun Hee translated for the alien observers. "In simple terms, they are giant bugs with fancy shells and poison spit. They talk to each other, using smell." "That is all?" Ambassador Namsu asked. "But they have destroyed 17 civilizations. Those civilizations did not understand what they were fighting," Sun Hee replied. "They saw alien technology and tried to fight it with their own technology. Humans see animals and fight them like animals." The battle continued as more Devourer ships arrived. Each engagement taught the humans something new about their enemy. The Devourers used swarming tactics because they were hive insects. They relied on bio-armor because they had evolved natural protection. They consumed planets because they needed biomass to reproduce. "They are not evil conquerors," reported xenobiologist Dr. Yoon Suk from the research lab. "They are an invasive species looking for new territory. This is a pest control problem, not a war." Engineer Sung Woo had been busy modifying human weapons based on captured Devourer technology. "Sir, I have good news. Their bio-armor is vulnerable to concentrated heat. We can modify our plasma weapons to burn through it like tissue paper." "And the bad news?" Admiral Byung-ho asked. The main Hive fleet has over 10,000 ships. They are 3 times larger than the scouts we just fought. The alien observers fell silent. 10,000 ships, each one capable of destroying a planet. The numbers seemed impossible. Admiral Byung-ho studied the tactical display and smiled. 10,000 targets. This should be fun. Fun? Min-ho squeaked. Admiral, those ships could destroy this entire fleet. Those ships are prey animals that have never been hunted before, the Admiral replied. They move in predictable patterns. They rely on size instead of skill. They think numbers make them safe. Sun He brought up images of Earth's ancient history. Humans used to hunt creatures called mammoths. Mammoths were 10 times larger than humans and had thick armor and dangerous weapons. They traveled in huge herds for protection. What happened to the mammoths? Asked Ambassador Nam-su. We ate them all, Sun He replied simply. Every last one. Size and numbers did not save them when humans decided they were food. Commander. In-gyu returned from the boarding mission with his teams intact and carrying Devourer prisoners. The alien captives were the size of small buildings and covered in bio-armor that looked impenetrable. Analysis confirmed, In-gyu reported. These things are basically space locusts. They consume everything and move on to the next feeding ground. No real intelligence, just instinct. Engineer Sung-woo had been studying the captured biotechnology. Sir, I can have weapon modifications ready within 6 hours. Every ship in the fleet can be upgraded to burn through Devourer armor. Do it, Admiral Byung-ho ordered. All ships, prepare for the main engagement. We hunt the Hive fleet at dawn. The alien observers huddled together as they watched the humans. Prepare for battle. The Devourers had seemed like unstoppable forces of destruction. Now they looked like oversized insects about to meet professional exterminators. Observer Min-ho finished his report to the Valari government. The humans do not see this as a battle for survival. They see it as pest control. They are going to exterminate the Devourers like vermin. Ambassador Nam-su sent a message to his own people. Do not send more ships. The humans do not need help. They need space to work. As the human fleet prepared for the final hunt, Engineer Sung-woo made one last modification to their weapons. He had figured out how to disrupt Devourer pheromone communication. When the main battle began, the hive mind would be blind and deaf. Ready, sir, Sung-woo reported. Admiral Byung-ho looked out at the stars where the Devourer hive fleet was waiting. Signal all ships. Time to finish this pest problem. The Devourer hive fleet was massive beyond imagination. The mothership alone was the size of a small moon, its bio-armor pulsing with alien life. Around it, thousands of smaller vessels moved in perfect formation, controlled by the hive mind that had consumed 17 civilizations. Fleet Admiral Jae-sung stood on the bridge of the Indomitable and studied his enemy with the eyes of a hunter. Where other species saw an unstoppable force, he saw a very large animal with predictable behavior patterns. Fleet status report, he ordered. All human vessels ready for engagement, reported Communications Officer Hee-young. Allied observer ships at safe distance. Weapon modifications complete. Enemy analysis? The Hive Mother is using standard bio-armor, reported Intelligence Officer Dong-woo. Thick outer shell, soft interior organs, communication nodes located. At junction points, standard invertebrate design. In other words, Admiral Jae-sung said with a smile, it is a giant bug that needs to be stepped on. The alien observers watched from their safe positions as the human fleet moved into attack formation. Coalition Commander Dong Wu, a representative from 6 different species, spoke for all of them. "Admiral, that mothership could swallow your entire fleet. Its weapons could crack moons. Are you certain about this strategy?" Admiral Jae-sung nodded calmly. "Commander, humans have been killing things larger than themselves for millions of years. Size is not an advantage. Size is a weakness. The battle began with the human fleet doing something no previous enemy had ever attempted. Instead of attacking the Hive fleet from a safe distance, they flew directly into the middle of the Devourer formation. They are committing suicide," gasped Ambassador Namsu as he watched the human ships disappear into the swarm of enemy vessels. "No," replied Observer Minho, who had been studying human tactics for days. "They are hunting. Watch what happens next." The Devourer ships tried to target the human vessels, but their massive weapons were designed to destroy planets, not small, fast-moving targets. The humans danced between the giant bioships like sharks swimming through a school of whales. Engineer. Sungwoo's weapon modifications worked perfectly. Human plasma guns burned through Devourer bioarmor like hot knives through butter. The aliens' natural protection, evolved over millions of years, became useless in minutes. "Communication disruption successful," reported Technical Officer Jin Ho. "The hive mind is losing coordination between ships." Without their mental connection, the Devourer fleet began to panic. Ships that had moved with perfect precision now bumped into each other. The formation that had seemed so threatening fell apart as individual vessels tried to escape. "They are running," Coalition Commander Dong Wu said in amazement. "The Devourers are trying to flee." "Of course they are," Admiral Jae-sung replied. "They are prey animals. When prey realizes it is being hunted, it always tries to run." Major E. Bora led the commando teams that infiltrated the Hive mothership. Getting inside the massive vessel was like entering the body of a living creature. The walls pulsed with biological activity. The air was thick with alien chemicals. The corridors were filled with Devourer warriors trying to defend their queen. "This is disgusting," Bora reported over the radio as her team fought through the ship's digestive system. "It smells like a rotting fish market in here." "Focus on the mission," Admiral Jae-sung replied. "Find the brain. Kill everything between you and it." Bora's commandos moved through the hive ship like antibodies fighting an infection. They used explosives to blast through bio walls. They cut down Devourer defenders with weapons designed to kill Earth's most dangerous predators. They followed the ship's nervous system toward its central brain. The alien observers watched the battle feeds in stunned silence. The humans were not just fighting inside the enemy mothership. They were treating it like a hunting expedition. They moved with the casual confidence of professionals doing a job they had done many times before. "Target acquired," Bora announced as her team. "Reach the ship's brain center. Beginning termination sequence." The Hive Mother's brain was a massive organic computer the size of a building. It pulsed with electrical activity as it tried to coordinate the defense of the fleet. When the human explosives detonated, the entire ship convulsed like a dying animal. "Hive mind is down," reported Communications Officer Hee Young. "All Devourer ships have stopped coordinated movement." The battle became a slaughter. Without their hive mind, the Devourer ships were just large, slow targets. Human fighters swarmed over them like wolves attacking a herd of cattle. Each enemy vessel was systematically disabled, boarded, and destroyed. Admiral Jae-sung watched the tactical display as red enemy markers disappeared one by one. "How long until completion?" "At current rate, 6 hours for full extermination, replied Tactical Officer Sun He. The smaller ships are trying to escape, but our pursuit teams are faster. Coalition Commander Dong Wu stared at the display in disbelief. You are going to kill them all? Every single Devourer ship? We are going to solve the problem, Admiral Jae Sung corrected. You do not leave dangerous predators alive to breed. You eliminate the entire population to protect future generations. The cleanup operation was methodical and efficient. Human teams swept through space collecting Devourer survivors and technology. Nothing was wasted. Everything was studied. The species that had terrorized the galaxy for generations was being catalogued like specimens in a laboratory. Dr. Yoon Suk analyzed the captured data and made a disturbing discovery. Admiral, the Devourers were not originally from this galaxy. They came from somewhere else, probably running from an even bigger threat. Something scared the Devourers into fleeing their home? Admiral Jae Sung asked with interest. The data suggests they encountered a species that hunted them to near extinction. They came here looking for easy prey to rebuild their numbers. The Admiral smiled. Well, they found the wrong galaxy. Signal the fleet. Begin deep space sweeps. If there are any more Devourer colonies hiding in dark space, I want them found and eliminated. Communications Officer Hee Young coordinated victory celebrations across dozens of worlds. The alien species that had lived in terror of the Devourers could barely believe the threat was over. Messages poured in from across the galaxy. The Zephyrian Council wants to offer the humans full citizenship, Hee Young reported. The Valari are requesting a defense treaty. The Mothkin Collective is asking if humans would consider establishing permanent patrol fleets in their territory. Admiral Jae Sung considered the offers. What do our people think about staying in this region? Most of the fleet wants to explore the galaxy, replied Captain Youngzae. We have found lots of interesting worlds and species. Some of the younger officers are talking about settling down and starting families. And the rest? The rest want to find whatever scared the Devourers out of their home galaxy, Captain Youngie said with a predatory grin. They are calling it the ultimate hunting trip. Coalition Commander Dong Wu approached the Admiral with a formal request. On behalf of the Galactic Council, I would like to ask if humans would consider establishing a permanent defense force. We have never felt safer than we do right now. Admiral Jae Sung looked out at the stars where human ships were completing their hunt. The galaxy's Devourer problem was solved. His people had found new worlds to explore and new species to befriend. The future looked bright. Commander, he said finally, humans go where we are needed. If this galaxy needs protectors, we will protect it. If dangerous predators threaten peaceful species, we will hunt them down. This is what we do. Communications. Officer Hee Young received one last message and started laughing. Sir, we just got a signal from Earth. High Command wants to know if we need reinforcements. What did you tell them? I told them the hunting was good here, but we had everything under control. Hee Young replied. Then I invited them to come. See the galaxy. I think they will like it here. As the human fleet settled into patrol patterns around key worlds, the galaxy began to change. Trade routes that had been abandoned due to Devourer attacks reopened. Colonies that had lived in fear started expanding again. Children grew up hearing stories about the humans who had saved them from the monsters. The SOS signal that had started everything was now remembered differently. It had not been a distress call from a dying world. It had been an invitation to the galaxy's most dangerous predators to come solve everyone's problems, and they had accepted the invitation with enthusiasm. Observer Minho completed his final report to the Valari government. The human species has integrated successfully into galactic society. They have established trade relationships, defense treaties, and cultural exchanges with multiple species. The devourer threat has been permanently eliminated. He paused and added one more line. Recommendation: never, under any circumstances, threaten anything the humans care about. They take it personally. In the depths of space, human patrol fleets continued their work. They protected trade routes, explored new systems, and watched for threats. They had found their place among the stars as the galaxy's apex predators, keeping the darkness at bay so others could live in peace. The Deathworlders had come to stay.